Hey, this is News Rocky coming to you live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. from 80 Broadway, downtown Norwich at the Pie Hop Studio. News Rocky. Hey, guys, I just got out of rehab, political rehab, taking on fake news, and we know there's plenty of that out there. So tune in each and every day. Get your full complement of all the fake news. We'll drill down on it harder than a pile driver on the WWE wrestling. Hey guys, it's Kevin from News Rocky. Thank you for tuning in. And here we are again today, the Monday through Friday show, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. News Rocky coming each and every day live from our great sponsor, Pie Hops. Pie Hops, the newest restaurant in downtown Norwich, and we are in the Pie Hops studio coming to you for this great afternoon here, this Wednesday afternoon. And guys, if you can see behind me, you see the beautiful sign, Trump. Make America Great Again, Donald Trump, the President of the United States. How many of you Democrats out there, my good friends that I love so dearly, when I say my President of the United States, can you say that? Can you say that Donald Trump is your president? Well, yet the same folks out there that have this conversation each and every day on social media, in person, whatever. You know what the comeback is? Trump isn't my president. But now that people are facing the fact that, you know what, Trump looks like you're not going to be the 46th president. Well, you couldn't be anyways. He would have been the 45th. He's only going to have to settle for the 47th president's job while the 46th gets set. So the same folks out there that want to criticize people who support Donald Trump, not my president, Donald Trump, the same people are the ones saying, you better accept Biden as your president. Hypocrites all day long. You know why? And I understand it, man. He's not your cup of tea. You don't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was rude, crude. He slapped her in the fill in the blanks. I don't really care, quite frankly, about any of that. You know why? Because at the end of the day, he was a great president who took on Washington, D.C. Why do I know that? Well, you know Kevin's been getting into the paperwork lately. And we like to get down deep into the news of the day, talk about all the great information that's being spread out there on the media platforms. We like to refer to the media as the corporate media. Why do we say that? Why do we call them corporate media, you think? Do you think because they're in cahoots with the powers to be? I kind of think that might be the real deal Holyfield situation, not just in D.C., but across the country. Think about it, folks. If you see news on one side, I did a little effort today of preparing for the show. And, you know, I want to also, before we get too far on this, I want to say, Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh, I know you're listening. You did an amazing job yesterday. Thank you for coming on as a guest. I will say that we're definitely going to look at getting Lori back on. I will say also that in the latter part of this show, I'm going to get into some of those things that Lori was talking about, throwing out there that I might not quite agree with on every level. We got into it a little bit, and I will say very well prepared, guest for us. Definitely appreciate her knowledge, her passion. The engagement, guys, was great. So make sure we continue to communicate with Lori on that. We'll get her back on the show down the road. We'll really, really drill down into some topics we were talking about. Obviously, her protest in response to the COVID situation, the response across the country, and particularly here in Connecticut. Lori did form this coalition of concerned folks out there. And I wouldn't say that they are making claims that COVID is a lie or fake news, but what they are making claim is that this could be a perpetuated, bigger issue being made out of government, media, and for a purpose. You heard yesterday, Lori, talking about possibly this being all motivated in an effort to actually stumble and deny the effort of Donald Trump's administration to get a second term. She made that very clear. She actually founded some really good claims to that. So, I think when we look back at that interview, we're all going to enjoy it. It's going to be hopefully going forward, we'll have more of those interviews with Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh, who is a very, very good, certainly a very well prepared guest, and we appreciate it. We'll go into some of those issues in a minute. I want to stay on here, guys. The Helms Media Group is really just this this corporation of these groups of different content. You have the Do Not Sports guys, the Hustle Report. What else do we have? We have a couple other things coming out. I'll let that be announced by the appropriate people. The News Rocky Show, right? And so, with all this new content coming out to you each and every day here from the Helms Media Group at the Pie Hop Studio at 80 Broadway, right here in downtown Norwich, we're just so excited because I think your minds, right? And I know you guys are watching and you're paying attention to what's going on. You're waiting. I'm getting the questions all the time. What's the next move for you guys? What's going on? Where are you going? And you know what? Obviously, everything is happening at a very, very controlled pace. We have professionals involved here, making sure we grow at the right pace. And there are some big, big things coming for this group and organization. And, I got to tell you, we're excited and we want to just keep bringing you the best possible content. So what you need to do to make me better is make sure you say something up here on the screen. Send me a message. Say, hey, News Rocky, I want to hear about this. News Rocky, I want to hear about that. News Rocky, you talk too much about. Let me know. Just communicate with us so we can communicate back with you. And that's how this show is going to rock and roll right through. I'm anticipating we probably knock off Tucker Carlson someday. That will be our goal. Maybe we'll take on some of the more pertinent people on the YouTube channel. I called it the YouTube channel. I think I just aged myself or dated myself. The YouTube. Who goes on the YouTube or the Facebook? Anyways, we're going to be really excited about bringing all this good content. So guys, get on there. Holy Trump. You like that, Raymond? That's it, man. Holy Trump. There it is, brother. So, bring those comments in, guys. Today's show is going to be me and you. And we're going to be talking a lot about really circling around Trump, Biden, this transition, or possibly you will see what happens. You did hear again. I know I'm going to bounce back and forth on this one, but thank you. Thank you. But you're going to hear about it. The fact of the matter is Mike Pence is in this amazing position. Mike Pence, the vice president of the United States, this is going to test his commitment. Right? It's going to test his commitment. And you guys, if you're watching what's going on today, just 2 hours ago, it looks like Donald Trump actually came out and he kind of, this is what's being quoted. Trump News Live, President turns on Mitch McConnell as Harris Biden cabinet nominates Mayor Pete. So Mitch McConnell basically came out, you guys paying attention to this, came out and really congratulated Biden on the win. And basically the handshake across the aisle. And this did not sit well with Trump. Donald Trump is not happy with Mitch McConnell. Who's next, right? Is Ted Cruz going to be basically saying the Constitution has been followed and it is time to move on? With a booger hanging from his nose. You guys remember the booger that was hanging from Ted Cruz? We can't pull that up, can we? Not today. Next time, we're going to get the booger on the nose. And listen, I like Ted Cruz. He's a constitutional scholar. He's a brilliant guy. But you know what? It definitely, unfortunately, he had the booger on his nose. But so who's going to be the next one to jump ship on Donald Trump? Is it going to be who? Pick a name. Who do you think it's going to be? I can tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be the loyalists, the group of 70 million plus Americans that came out and voted for him. They're not going to turn their back. And in fact, those in the Senate and the House, I think what you need to do is really, if you're a Republican there, you should do the right thing. You should do the right thing for the people of this country. And if you're a Democrat and you believe you're doing the right thing, you just keep on doing it. The one thing I'm confident about is 2022. 2022 is a big date for most, right? Like, so in the state of Connecticut, for example, where this show is coming to you live from, we'll be having a gubernatorial race against a Republican and a Democrat running for governor. The obvious is Governor Lamont here in Connecticut is going to attempt to try to get his second term. But you know what's going to happen? Somebody like Bob Stefanowski, Heather Summers, Emmis Claridis, you go down the list, these people are going to be running for governor here. And one of those people are going to beat, I'm going to predict it now. The next governor of Connecticut is a Republican in 2022. The reason that I bring this and tie this up with what's going on now, we also have senators running across the country. We'll have congressmen running again, right? And so think about it, folks. There's a lot going on right now, and Mitch McConnell's decision, public decision, does not sit well with President Donald Trump. how much of that love affair did we really see? It looked like it was a struggle, actually. If you remember back when Donald Trump first arrived into D.C., kicking the door in, draining the swamp, as he said. I don't think Mitch McConnell was giving him the warm and fuzzies then. And on the way out, it looks like he's going to get the same from that relationship with Senator Mitch McConnell, who is a powerful guy, right? I mean, a very powerful guy. I think him and Lindsey Graham on the Republican side are the dominant forces in the room. But interesting to see how folks on that side are turning on Donald Trump at this time. Guys, if you have any comments about what's going on right here, and we're certainly talking about sort of the Donald Trump thing, you see the sign. Let's just stop, hold the phones for a minute. Let me just get over this. I voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. And I voted for him in 2020. I will vote for Donald Trump in 2024. I'd be proud to do that, because the fact of the matter is, I've never seen in my adult life, and I registered at 18 as a Republican, I've never seen anyone who has been so anti-corruption be painted with the picture of corruption. And I say this for a reason, guys. Let's go back to 2015, 16. This now president running as a candidate goes against every Republican on a stage of, what was it, 17 or 18 different candidates that were running in that primary. And this guy came out and he didn't change one thing about his character. He didn't change one thing about his delivery. He didn't apologize for his success. And all he said consistently was, I want to make America great again. And you know what? What in the hell is wrong with saying, I want to make America great again? It resonated. At a time in our country's history, we came off a very divided country. A very divided country. You know why we were divided, most likely? Because of race. There you go. A Republican conservative who voted for Donald Trump is going to tell you that this country has a major racial divide. And Donald Trump, who inherited the racial divide from the previous administration. A solid dude. I think President Obama is a guy who I certainly would love to sit and chat with and learn. Brilliant, charismatic, all those things. A socialistic attitude towards our government. Our government was ripe for the picking. Now listen to what I'm doing. I'm correlating, guys. I'm bringing you back to what I earlier said. 2022 is huge. It's huge for the Congress in this country. The people who commit today to supporting this, I would say, this is the highest crime of thievery that most have seen in the history of this world. This is actually the highest crime of thievery in the United States of America. And we are watching it with our own two eyes. And guys, you know what? We're so mesmerized by following the bouncing ball of all the other nonsense and noise that the actual commercial corporate media wants us to chase, that we're not paying attention. And those of you who can't say Donald Trump was my president and want me to say that Joe Biden's my president, which I'm going to once he gets elected, I'm not the guy that has a problem saying that. You do. Once that happens, folks, once this is official that Donald Trump and the people of America who voted for him have been ripped off by a corrupt system. You know, you heard Lori talking a little bit about this yesterday. We were talking. There is enough evidence. You know, we're going to have a guest on next week, Gordon Vidal. Gordon Vidal is actually somebody who has great information. We're going to get into a lot of topics with Gordon. We're going to talk about the deep state. We're going to certainly talk about, you know, all the interests. And he has a voice and a platform. He's a big activist in the city of New London. In fact, he's an antagonist, I think, in the city of New London to the administration down there. And Gordon, you probably are smirking listening to what I'm saying. And those folks on the other side of that conversation understand one thing. Gordon is tenacious. He's an attorney by practice. He knows how to drive down into a subject. And we're going to get down and dirty with a lot of this kind of what you want to say on a liberal Democratic side. You want to say this conspiracy theory. You know, conspiracy theory. Now, I've heard this a lot. This is a really interesting thing to be heard, because when I hear that the conspiracy theory of this election being rigged, it's just not rigged. It's this is just a sore loser. Well, sore losers. Speak of sore losers in this country. congressmen and women, senators, uh, politically motivated corporate media flunkies, you all collectively got together in 2016 when Donald Trump was elected, and you started scheming, you started planning and plotting. You were getting all soaked up and ready to go and attack this president before he even got sworn into office. You guys remember? Little history lesson here. I don't know. Am I getting a little too crazy in here? Am I right? I'm calm.
You're good.
Thank you, sir. If I get wound up, just give me the calm down sign. I'm excited. You know what? I'm excited. I came in here. We have some talking points, but I haven't got this opportunity. I'm sorry. I need to get this off my chest because I'm. You know what I'm angry about? I'm angry at the fact. Okay, Donald Trump loses the election, but you know what? Tell me this. I'm not going to pin you down. If you believe something was done wrong, not in this subject, if you thought it was illegal or a violation, would you follow the path of the law to do the checks and balances on that?
Sure.
Wouldn't the normal anybody, if you bought a car and you come back and you got a lemon law, you're not going to follow back to see if that lemon law is going to be honored and you can get your vehicle fixed? Oh, there's a pathway for that. But there's not a pathway for a president. Oh, wait a minute. For you Democratic liberals, not your president. So it don't matter, does it? Guys, this is, I'm not trying to be divisive. Am I? Maybe I am. I don't know. But you know what I am trying to do? I'm trying to plead with you to be honest. I'm pleading with the listeners of News Rocky, the Helms Media Group production, coming to you from the Pie Hops studio at the Pie Hops restaurant at 80 Broadway in downtown Norwich. Listen, I'm pleading to you folks that are listening, and please chime in if you can, if you can't, whatever. But I'd like to hear your comments. I want to hear what you're saying. I think this is important. If this is the last few weeks until Donald Trump is going to be elected back in 2024, I want to get it off my chest now. I want you to hear what I have to say. I want you to know what I'm thinking. Donald Trump's signs behind me. You know why? He is the greatest president that I've seen in my adult life since I've been voting for any president in any election. This includes both Bushes. Both Bushes, to me, should be trimmed down and their history should be exposed. I think the Republican Party now has seen what a CIA president looks like after history. We also have seen what a George W. Bush looks like. Obviously, the incompetence of that presidency, allowing Dick Cheney to motivate into war and bash heads across the world as payback for seniors' undone policies, is quite obvious. You see all the three King's men, right? Now all these King's men are getting together. Donald Trump's the enemy. So what's that do? George W., Slick Willie, and Obama. The three amigos running around. I think they're going to get their shots together. Guys, this is exactly what Mitch McConnell did today. If you're paying attention to what we're saying, if you can smell what The Rock is saying, News Rocky. I'm not The Rock, just for the record. I'd like to be The Rock for a day. One day. Just one day as The Rock, man. Imagine that life. Unbelievable. I know, Paula. I wouldn't get up and do the workout. I know. Anyways, this is where it's going to happen. The rubber's going to hit the road. Congressmen and women, senators, let's see what you do. And Vice President Pence, who I have the pleasure of saying, one of the only humans in the room that can say, I've seen Mike Pence in the bathroom. That's a true story. I don't want to get any further than that because I don't want to get rumors going. But so here's the deal, guys. We're talking a little bit about the whole Donald Trump concept of what's going on. We're hitting about the break point here. We'll switch some things up in a second into a different conversation. But I want you to know that Donald Trump right now, who I think needs to be respected, and we're going to have a really special show. Hopefully we're going to tie some of that video and stuff that we put together and start to really pay that tribute to what I say is the greatest president, because he committed the same way he acted in that primary in 2015-16 is the same way he's going to leave office as he is, denied his worthy opportunity to be a two-term president here. And you know what? I'm going to stay by what I said earlier, not just on this show, but earlier on some earlier episodes of the News Rocky Show. We have to follow a system, and when they find out the system is broke, we need to fix the system. And so, it's unfortunately they're gonna find out that a lot of these claims of corruption in Michigan, uh, Georgia, Pennsylvania, these Nevada, Arizona, these places that have these claims of sort of Trump concept, sort of fabricated, according to one storyline, probably on a CNN or a platform of more liberal information, is going to really make it as if you're really you obviously only think one way. Donald Trump lied. It says corruption. Again, guys, think about it. 2016, he's elected. Before he even got sworn in, as we were saying a moment ago, the Russian investigation was happening, right? They were trying to bring it down. What happened with the Russian investigation? You guys know? You don't remember? So a Democratic-controlled Congress votes to impeach. Obviously, a Republican-controlled Senate obviously doesn't happen. It's dead at the door. Doesn't go any further. It was really about an election, though, right? You guys think about you talk about fake news. You talk about what goes out there. Think about how much information has been sent out to from the media, the national corporate media, sound bites of comments, speculation. We have report from a confidential report. This comes in, that comes in. We find out time after time after time that the corporate media has lied over the last 4 years. They've participated in lies, and quite frankly, it's treasonous what they've done when it looks at how they side by side walk with the liberal Democratic Party, who seems to have won this battle. And I give them credit. You guys did an amazing job at attempting to destroy, by the way, 2 Supreme Court newly appointed, Republican appointed Supreme Court judges. And what you did with how you dragged these people through the mud, and I'm talking to Democratic liberals, Senator, get me guys, Dick Blumenthal and his friend Chrissy Murphy, the way you treated these candidates, these appointees, is disgusting. And you know what? I can't even understand. I can't even understand how you sit here straight face and now say that these claims have no validity. You hypocritical, lying to the public, stealing our taxpayer money, piece of shit. That's what I have to say on that one. I'm sorry. I'll slow down. I apologize. I didn't see the bad word. I said shit. So, Kev, find it hard to believe all those talented Trump lawyers can't find a pathway. Yes. How is it with all these stories of corruption? Can we be proven in courts yet? You know what, Bob? I'm going to tell you what's really my opinion on that is. This is what's going to take for this to be proven. It's not going to get proven in the time frame for which we want it to be, but these court cases will continue, and they'll be all for naught. You want to know why? Jellyfish and spineless, yes, Jeffrey, but I'm answering Bob right now. And Bob, because here's a simple fact. These guys right now are going to, each one of these claims that are made, these talented lawyers, as you say, this is a very talented pool of lawyers that the President Trump's campaign team has put together. And I agree. But each and every time they file, there's another appeal to the process. There's not enough time. And honestly, this is a thing that let's challenge the Congress and Senate to do something positive out of this unbelievably negative. Why don't you change the laws and adapt some safe gaps for this exact issue? Let's say that you push back. The court should intervene now and push back any transition until it is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. But unfortunately, they're not going to do that because the jellyfish and the spineless folks, we'll call them folks, are not going to make those decisions, right? And so, you know what? I'm going to say to the News Rocky folks that are listening, I like you feel that my vote got ripped off. I'm in Connecticut. It's a blue state. It didn't matter anyways, but it does matter. It's my vote, my support for this president. And I feel like the millions of us, 70 million plus of us, we've all been denied our opportunity. See, so you know what? This is our country, right? It's Wednesday, middle of the week. You know what this is? We should make a decision in this country right now, today, that we don't allow this to happen. Unite together, come together, stand up and say, you know what? Demand your senators and your, I don't care if they're Republicans or Democrats, your congressmen and women, Republicans and Democrats, demand them to make sure that they make this right now. You need to rally around that. You got to make phone calls. You got to call people. You need to make sure you're present and you're known. But you know what the sad part is, guys? We could organize 70 million people to stand up with flashlights in the air across this country. And you want to know a fact? Not one corporate media station will cover it. You want to know why? Because they're jellyfish, spineless people. That's right. They support one-sided concepts. They support one thing. And by the way, these sons of guns have been making some tons of money during this whole process. They are going, I mean, you think about it. If you could take Donald Trump out of the media, tell me this, guys. Anybody have an opinion? If Donald Trump was not our president right now, if Donald Trump was not the president of the United States today, it was let's say that Hillary Clinton was the president. I know I just made some people spit their coffee out. I think I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. I know that vision is disgusting and maybe you got to go take a second. But imagine if, Hillary Clinton was the president of the United States. There's no Trump in the world, right, guys? What would the media be beating up now? Who would they be attacking? Who would be the enemy number one? I'm going to say they'd go right after Clinton. Maybe it's too bad that didn't happen, guys. Think about it. Maybe if that had happened, they'd go so deep into him, they'd expose his connection to Epstein Island, and his perverse lifestyle that he has. Maybe that would have happened. Maybe that would have been the good, right? Maybe if we had, let's have it, if we could have it over again, maybe that would be the plan, because maybe corporate media would actually go after her. You know what? Hold on a minute. Not going to happen. They've had their chance. You know why I'm excited about talking to Gordon Vidal next week? One of our good friends of the show here. Gordon's going to come on, an attorney from New London. You know what he's going to do? He's going to talk about Pizzagate. He's going to talk about in-depth information he's going to share with you and myself, the listeners. We're going to have a great conversation with him. We're going to find out exactly what happened down there in this whole concept of Pizzagate, where it started from. There's a connection to Bill Barr, the outgoing attorney general, his father. There's books written about molesting children in orphanages. There's going to be a lot of stuff next week. So I want you guys to tune in for that show and definitely pay attention to what Gordon's going to bring up. But think about it, guys. Hillary Clinton gets into office back in 2016. She wins. She beats Trump. Trump goes away. He goes golfing again, and he does the Sunday morning shows once in a while. He's not the president of the United States. No one to hate him. There's no coronavirus in that world, right? Because obviously Hillary would have just got along with China. We would have had no issues over there, man. Things would have been just like the good old days of a Clinton administration, right? Let's just pretend that happened. Well, you know what? Who would the media be attacking? Who would they be attacking? Or would it just be a beautiful world? Maybe that's a better world to live in. Maybe there's less anger, and maybe there's no news, Rocky, from that whole scenario. So you know what? Scratch that and screw that. I'm glad she didn't win. But you know what's a shame, guys? Donald Trump, when he won this election in 2016, is now finishing up his last few weeks in office. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Pence, he's not going to change the system. He's going to do and honor the system, and President-elect Joe Biden will certainly be sworn into office. You need to wrap your head around it. I know it hurts. Guys, I know it hurts deep. I know it's deep, like cigar deep. Just please make sure you understand that this is going to happen. So how do we handle that? Bobby, back to your question. You know what? We have to be diligent. We have to be interested. We have to be inspiring. We have to be involved. We have to be totally on top of it, and we have to be committed. And if we're not any of those things, if we go by and the pages start turning, and all of a sudden we're going to watch the noise of, the appointees from Joe Biden. They're going to go up there and go through the process, and we'll hear some of the nays and says and stuff. But they'll all work together. You can vote no, you can vote yes. Guys, this is how it goes on. I was behind the curtain, man. I can tell you right now, the biggest and greatest theater on this entire earth and planet is Washington, D.C. The stage is huge. The decisions are major, but they are the most important play every day, being written and scripted by professionals who get confidence of the voters of this country. And when they get to that place, with the exception of Crimshaw, I'm going to tell you right now, I want Crimshaw to be my president. First of all, he's got a patch over his eye. He's a badass. He could he'd kill you, right? Or he can out debate you. That's a brilliant mind. I'm going to tell you, Crimshaw is one of those guys. I don't think he's going to fall. He's not drinking the water. He's not going to fall victim to the Washington, D.C. He'd rather leave D.C., actually, in my opinion, than pay the price of corruption. So many good Republicans and Democrats, good people, get elected, guys. They go to Washington, D.C., and they start swallowing that disgusting taste of Washington corruption. And once they get it, man, it's like a taste you can't get out of your system anymore. And you can't get rid of it, right? And so, guys, fake news, fake media, the national corporate media in 2016 created this concept of Russian collusion, right? And they made all of us have that conversation. We could probably Google down on some of these topics and some of this conversation today we're having, but think about it. Who is really running the country? Do you think the president of the United States runs the country in total? No, because right beneath this president, his nose, how much was the CIA involved in any of what's going on right now? How much of the FBI information was being leaked out? We watched this time over time. A lot of folks in the FBI and the CIA were exposed and fired. A lot of you folks out there on the Democratic liberal side, you love to make criticisms. Donald Trump can't even keep an administration together. First of all, every administration can track a large number of turnover. These are stressful, hard positions. And quite honestly, if you find one reason to not trust somebody in one of these roles, well, you better get rid of them, and get rid of them fast. And do the best you can to get a better candidate in that position, someone to serve in a capacity in an administration. And this happens, but we hear Donald Trump couldn't even keep an administration. He fired this one, Mattis, that one. It doesn't matter. You know what? I'm going to tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that Donald Trump is not a very friendly boss. I've had a few really, really asshole bosses before. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we all have, right? Everyone's had that person in their life that says, you know what? You got to do your job. Guys, how much of the fake news do we hear about Donald Trump from the corporate media side telling us how Donald Trump, his administration is in disarray, and it's all confused, and he can't keep cabinet members. Guys, the fact of the matter is, the corporate media soups this whole conversation up. You can look at every one of these issues. How many lives were ruined in an effort to get at Donald Trump? They had to take out Flynn and this one and that one. Roger Stone, you can like him or not. I think he was screwed. I think he was fake news right to the ground, and I think he was screwed. And listen, under Donald Trump's administration, the feds went in there, guns a blaring on a 60-something-year-old man, kicked his door in. Guys, you remember this story? The feds, under Donald Trump's administration, kicked the door in of a guy he's pardoning. Donald Trump really never took control of Washington, D.C. when he arrived in 2016, folks. He attempted to. And see, you liberals on the left side here of this conversation are like, yes, he didn't take control, and you're missing the boat, man. You're not hearing what we're saying. I don't care if it was Donald Trump, if it was Joe Biden. I don't care what president goes into those positions. If they're going to do one thing, I ask for one thing is, honestly, when you hear clean this, we're going to drain the swamp, we're going to clean up things in Washington. Honestly, I would like term limits to be a priority of a president who sits. Now, a lot of people want to oppose me on this. They push back. There is term limits. It's called elections. You know what? Screw that shit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because these people can buy their way. Lindsey Graham buys his way in every time. You guys, I don't like it or not. They're spending what, $200 million in Georgia to try to win these 2 elections. It's probably going to be over 200 million, maybe even more, to win 2 elections for 2 senatorial seats. Very important for the country. I get it. And keep on sending me the text for the donation every day. But you know what? At the end of the day, guys, if one president, if I knew in my heart Joe Biden was going to be the guy to go to Washington, D.C. and take on this corruption that goes on down there, I would vote for a Democrat who's going to do that. I would 100%. I bet you most of the people here that are on Team Rocky, on News Rocky's team, they're with us every day. They're paying attention to what's going on. I bet you we would all, if we truly believed in our heart that the better choice was somebody across the aisle, I don't care who it is, Republican or Democrat. Yeah, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. But if I know in my heart somebody's going to go to Washington, D.C., and this is the sad part, guys, even the Democratic liberals who hate Donald Trump know he's an outsider, know he's not like the typical, normal, same old, presidents that have been in office. Even though you know that, you're so disingenuous. You can't accept, guys. And I love you. I want to wrap my conservative Republican arms around you and squeeze you tight and let you know it's going to be all right. You got to accept it. You know Donald Trump was the best president, and you know why. Because he never connected to the scum of Washington, D.C. McConnell, turn. Who's next? Who's going to be next? You know what? I do feel bad for Mike Pence. Mike Pence is going to be put on the hot seat, guys, and this is going to be a reversal. And in the New York Times itself, they sometimes we call them the Lion Times or newspaper, the Lion Times, New York Times. Trump allies eye long shot election reversal in Congress, testing Pence. So we talked a little bit about this one, guys, and you know what? I want to know if you're thinking like this whole concept of the vice president really having this choice to make is really going to play out to be interesting. And some people have been commenting back and forth over the last few days. Is the standing down, the removing, or actually leaving his post as the Attorney General, Bill Barr? Is there something possibly into that gives some kind of constitutional sort of clearing for Mike Pence to make that decision? This is going to be a very interesting turn, guys. We're going to have to see how this works. And I'm not saying that I don't think it's going to take place. I think the insiders will figure it out together. They'll understand that, you know what, for the country, the good of the country, they'll say in their own hearts, including Republicans and Democrats, let's just do it this way, guys, and let's move this along. And when's the cocktail party for welcoming Joe B? Oh, yes. Are we golfing? Lindsay, please come over here with Senator Dick Blumenthal, and we get to go out and go, dinnering together. And we get back into the same old Washington, D.C. Guys, you keep on, and Republicans who want to think, by the way, a lot of people who I know that are calling themselves Republicans are not even Republicans, Trump supporters. That's what I want to say. They're not even Republicans. They don't care about being a Republican or Democrat. They're independent people who didn't care about politics. And I'm going to tell my great friends on the liberal side, I'm telling you, I'm warning you, and I'm giving you some advice. Wrap your head around this. You settled for the best choice. That was a moral decision you did. Because almost every one of you have told me on platform after platform after conversation that, you know what, I don't like Biden. He's just an insider, but he's the best choice, and he's the only one I can support. What? The only one you can support? Because this guy bothers you? Because he got off a bus and said something about slapping somebody in a waddy? You know what? I don't care. That was stupid talk. I don't agree with it. I don't appreciate it. And we've all said stupid things, you included. Liberal, Democrats, Republicans, people, humans say stupid shit all the time. 2017 Hunter Biden email asking Chinese energy firm to quickly wire $10 million. So we're getting some reports in here, not just actually reports, updates of that information. You know what, guys? That's a great point right there. It's a great point to the disingenuous, dishonest, loyalists to one side of the conversation, attacking anti-Trump media. You know what you did? You tried to forget about a story, and then all of a sudden the story pops up again. You know what happens? Now you got to explain yourself, because honestly, if I'm paying your salaries, and we are in a way, right, guys? We are. We turn that TV on, or we turn something on, like you turn a News Rocky on right now. And guys, by the way, we got to pay the salaries, so we do need some sponsorship someday. So if you're out there and you own a business, or you want to talk to me about how you can, really support this show, actually, I know our swag is coming really soon. Gonna have some hats, some sweatshirts, coffee mugs. I'll even sign them for you if you want, for a few extra bucks. Just saying, if you really want them. But you know what, guys? Here's the bottom line. If you really think for one moment about what we're talking about, guys, the disingenuous media back during these debates during this campaign, they let go of Jeff's point. Hunter Biden. We forgot about him. I'm going to tell you right now, you know what this is? A plot and a plan. It's the theater we talked about. And you know who got played? 48 years of experience. 3 attempts to get into the presidential run. And the final victory for, yes, your president and mine, Joe Biden, will be out of office in 6 months. You heard it first. I promise you 6 months. If he doesn't leave in 6 months, I got to do something crazy. Maybe I jump off the Gold Star Bridge. I don't know if that's good, but I don't really want to do that. But we'll do something. I'm telling you 6 months. And the reason I say this, guys, is because when you start reading these articles, it's all set up. There's actually, the corporate media now is churning, right? They're churning the page. And this is part of the fake news narrative that we talk about. The fake news media created a concept of coveting and protecting and promoting Joe Biden during this campaign, to the point where they endorsed him. The Times, every newspaper across the country of influence, kept on endorsing this president-elect, Joe Biden. But they opposed and they exposed and they tore apart and they pointed fingers of still talking Russian collusion, still talking about how you treated Black Americans during the George Floyd issues, still telling him he's a racist and he supports white Ku Klux Klan. He supports supremacy. He denounced it each and every time. But the corporate media and their fake tone, their fake drive because of an election drove that conversation every day. And you know what? The American people fell for it. We fell for it each and every time. You know why, guys? Pretty friggin' simple. Power, greed, power, control, greed. It's like being in a cell block. It's like being in a courtroom. It's like being in Wall Street. It's like being anywhere on the street corner hustling to try to get that hustle, so you make sure nobody comes around you and takes your money away. When you talk about as a presidential candidate or a candidate for any office, you talk about transparency and giving back. You know what you do? You scare the shit out of the people that are in office. You scare the shit out of them, because now they're going to get exposed. And you know what? When you turn the light on and you start to see what's going on, talk about fake news. Talk about how fake news has driven a narrative. And guys, you know what? There's as much fake news on the Republican side. You know what? I could turn on Fox News and I'm sure I could get plenty of reports of news that I could sit there and go, I don't know. Tommy, thanks for that. I don't know if I should be running for president, but we got to appreciate that one, huh? President for the Hair Club for Men. I don't even have hair anymore, so I can't be that. Listen, guys, we're talking a lot about, we're driving into the conversation. I'm trumped up today, if you can tell. The government is a mob. You know what? The government is a mob. It's the biggest mob and controlled mob in the country. You know why? I'm going to tell you why it's a mob. Because it's a breeds corruption through their inclusion, right? You get into the mob. First thing you do is you got to pass a test. You got to get elected. Once you pass a test, let's say, for example, you guys know what happens when you go down to D.C.? You know what happens when you go down to D.C.? I can tell you what happens. When you're a new congressman or a senator or whatever you do, as soon as you arrive, you get the whole, hey, here it is. This is what you do. You know what the next thing is? Sir, Mr. Victory, you won the congressional seat in the second. Get on the phone and raise $80,000 today. And tomorrow you better double it. And you better keep doing that for your first 2 years if you want to get that 1.2, 2 point whatever $million so you can run again. The whole damn system is corrupt. And listen, I know there's good people. There's going to be people that I know I sit across, and there's sometimes I'm going to be critical of, Dick Blumenthal. I hope that, Dick will come on the show someday. I would like to invite Dick to come on the show and talk about his legislative action in the Senate, his career, his perspective. Ask him about Trump. So Dick, if anyone's out there that knows Dick or has any communication with Dick and his administration, the senator from Connecticut, Blumenthal, send him out a message from News Rocky. We love to have Dick on the show and come on and just talk about it. So if anyone can get a hold of Dick, please do that for News Rocky. Pass it on to us. We appreciate that very much. I think when you talk about corruption, you talk about the government is a mob. So another comment up here today was thrown out is Bernie Sanders. Free is for me. So, so there's a good one, right? So we have this whole, I would call it new energy or maybe just reinvigorated energy in our country. And quite frankly, as much as some of these comments that are coming in, the energy that came from Bernie Sanders, guys, think about this. Want to hear about fake news? Here's some other fake news. The Democratic National Party runs a primary in 2016. They have some really good candidates. The standard old candidates that you see running through, some new ones that have been exposing themselves. The candidates go out there, they debate, they do their thing. It comes down to a Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton president nomination. The Democratic Party sets up Bernie Sanders, the progressive, the progressive socialist. He can't get elected for president. We're going to choose what we know. The dirty, corrupt, evil empire of the Clintons. So therefore, what happens? The Democratic National Committee and the chairman's own admission after the fact gave information to the Clinton campaign, helped Hillary Clinton secure that position as the candidate. And they did it. And Hillary still lost because she's a loser. But they did it, and they did one thing. And you know what? I don't hate Bernie Sanders, guys. And if you hate Bernie Sanders, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. At least Bernie Sanders sticks to his guns, man. He does cave when it comes to, I'm going to support Joe Biden. I wish he was a little more brave about that because I think people would resonate even more. I think you draw more that independent, sort of on the border of conservative folks that really say, you know what? Yeah, I can't get with the concept of growing money trees, right? But I can get with the concept of understanding one thing. I can get with the concept of taking care of people. I can get into the concept of government sort of getting out of the way. And I think Bernie Sanders speaks to some of that stuff. He got ripped off by the Democratic National Committee. You same hypocrites that then voted and supported Hillary Clinton when clearly Bernie Sanders should have been your candidate. And you know what I said back in 2016? If it was Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, the implosion of our system, our political system, the implosion was on the edge and it was ready to happen. And it did happen with Donald Trump arriving in Washington, D.C. But what I'm trying to get at is the fake corporate media and participation with the corrupt control party, politicians, the insiders, the influencers, the people who run this country, and quite frankly, the world. They didn't want Bernie Sanders then, and they didn't want him now. You know why? They couldn't have molded him into what they wanted. They couldn't have controlled him in the way that they control Joe Biden, who's going to be the shortest term president. I have to check that fact, actually. I don't want to mislead and be fake news, but I think the shortest term president might have been a year. I think he's going to do less than that. He will bow out. Hunter Biden, bringing that back to the comment, Hunter Biden is seriously in some real issues here, and questionably, the comments, the comments that have been out from Joe Biden himself. I have no knowledge of this, and that. There's actually facts here are being proven that there is a connection to this case, and it's going to be interesting how this all pans out. I think, is it timely that Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, did not get arrested, or excuse me, did not get charged publicly or any leaks of information until this election was over? Think about it, guys. There's a lot more media playing here than anything else, and that's the bottom line. And so, one of the articles we also read onto today was I'm not saying they're not a bunch of effers. Biden's deputy chief of staff pick says of working with Republicans. This is scathing. She called them effers. So the effers, referring to in this article from The Independent, the campaign manager for Joe Biden's 2020 presidential campaign, Jen O'Malley Dillon. Good old Irish girl there. Would you say she's Irish? I mean, O'Malley Dillon, I have to say you're Irish, and I'm sure your Irish eyes are sparkling. Speaking in October in 2019, President-elect Joe Biden's incoming deputy chief of staff, now Jen O'Malley Dillon, called Mitch McConnell terrible and claimed, I'm not saying they're not a bunch of effers, in reference to Republicans. In this interview with the Gilmore that was published on Tuesday, Miss O'Malley Dillon, 44, who also served as Mr. Biden's campaign manager, said the president-elect will attempt to work with Republicans while in office, but then went on to criticize them. The president-elect was able to connect with people over the sense of unity in the primary. People would mock him like, you think you can work with Republicans? Miss O'Malley Dillon said on Tuesday. I'm not saying they're not a bunch of effers. Okay. So O'Malley Dillon, when I was a kid, they used to tell me I looked like Matt Dillon. I'm just saying. It's a true story. I had hair, and it's a good-looking guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm as modest as I am. But Miss Dillon, interesting pick for Biden. I think obviously he trusts her. She's in the inner circle, and she's proven herself. But here's a typical liberal, 44-year-old liberal woman in the arena fighting for obviously her candidate to get him elected. And now she comes in and quite interesting. I think these comments right out of the box, right? So we get a message from the professional politician who's been in office for 48 years saying one thing, unity. Unity is what we need. And I'm going to bring it to you, the American people. And then his actual chief of staff is saying how they're a bunch of effers. Guys, we're going to be, I rambled and rattled for a lot of topics. Donald Trump, the greatest president of the United States in the history of the United States up to this point. I say he's greater than many in my lifetime, the greatest president. I can't really speak to the history of America, but I'll say this. You, the American people who allow corruption at the highest level, you own your outcome. You cannot regret what you've chosen to do. If you support pushback on the attempts to make sure that the information is surfacing legally and correctly on this election, if you push back on that and you say that wasn't not my president, the next president of the United States, my president, he's your president too. If you want to stay in that arena, you stay there. But guess what? You will be regretting and you will rue the day that you made these decisions because honestly, you're not being transparent. You're being exactly what we take on each and every day on News Rocky, guys. Each and every day, the News Rocky show from the Helms Media Group coming to you live from the Pie Hop studio down here in downtown Norwich, right above Pie Hop's restaurant, right next to the town hall at 80 Broadway. You'll be doing the same thing, guys. If you want to stay in that lane, you'll be doing the same thing that corporate media does. Lies and tells fake news each and every day. You see, what we're going to do each and every day is break down what we believe is the news of the day, the important topics of the day. And I could sit here all day long and point a finger at fake. And I know that somebody can sit over there and do the same thing for me. Quite frankly, that's the problem in this country. We really don't have the ability, A, to tell the truth, and B, for someone to receive it. We're sensitive. We're actually very much baby-like when it comes to this country. I can't say something to somebody and not have them want to steal my hat from my office because it says Donald Trump on it. And I want my Donald Trump hat back because it was a special gift to me. I'm just saying. So whoever's out there, I want my hat back. All right? I'm serious about this. Guys, this is News Rocky. Biden just Yeah, he is. Yes, Jeffrey. He's going to announce Mayor Buttigieg there for transportation as secretary. Yeah, he is really. I got to tell you, Ray, Jeff, I like him. I like the mayor. I kind of think the mayor's a good dude, man. He's a solid guy. He's served in the military. If anyone wants to criticize him because he's gay, well, you're just stupid. And because who cares, right? I mean, we got to get past that shit. That's over. But you know what? I think there's a great example. I thought they were going to actually put him over as ambassador in China. Some folks were figuring that because think about it. If Obama, if when Kamala Harris steps into the plate and puts this move on, when is there going to be a primary run against her in the 2024 election for then obviously running for president? Because obviously Biden's going to be gone by then. Harris is going to be there. She's not going to want this guy outshining her because he actually can get a vote across the board. Guys, this is the News Rocky Show. You listened today to the rants and just getting down and dirty. I wanted to take on a lot of stuff. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please respond up there in the posting. Send us a message. You want to hear about something. Tomorrow we'll be announcing there's a major snowstorm coming to Connecticut across the entire East Coast. I hope everyone is safe. Please buckle down. Some way, somehow, we will come to you with live. If we are out of the studio or in the studio, I might even put together some live blasts. We'll see what we do. Guys, this is News Rocky. Let's each and every day at 4 to 5 p.m. coming from the Pie Hop studio at Helms Media Group, 80 Broadway, downtown Norwich. Each and every day, let's get in the ring.